Hello. Today we're covering message testing, one of the most directly useful research methods for anyone working in marketing, brand management, or product development. Before you decide what to put on your packaging, which claim to feature in your next campaign, or which benefit to lead with in a digital ad, message testing tells you which of your candidate messages will actually resonate with real consumers. By the end, you'll know exactly how to set one up and what to do with the results. Let's start with the problem. Here's the situation that plays out in marketing meetings everywhere. You've developed 5 possible messages for your new campaign, or your new packaging redesign, and now the room is full of opinions. Marketing loves the emotional hook. Sales wants the functional claim. The CEO has a different favorite entirely. Everyone is certain they're right, but here's the truth. Now, one of those opinions is based on what the customer thinks, and the customer is the only one who matters. The only way to settle is to test. The core idea behind message testing is simple but easy to skip in the rush towards launch. Test the message before you spend on it. A great message that resonates can transform a campaign. It makes every dollar of media spend more effective. A poor message that doesn't connect wastes every dollar behind it, and you often don't find out until it's too late and the money is gone. Message testing is how you find the winner before it costs you anything. So what is message testing formally? It's a research method that evaluates candidate messages, claims, or ad concepts with real consumers, measuring how much they appeal, how believable they are, and how much they motivate purchase, to identify which message to lead with. It's used anytime you're deciding what to put on a package, which headline to run in a campaign, or which benefit to feature at the top of a product page. If a consumer is going to read it and decide whether to buy based on it, it can be tested. Message testing applies to a wide range of consumer-facing claims and copy. On-pack claims like "made with real vegetables," benefit statements like 30% fewer calories, emotional hooks like "finally, a chip that doesn't make you feel guilty," campaign taglines, digital ad headlines. The format doesn't matter. What matters is that it's something a real consumer will encounter and reach to on their path to purchase. Any of those can go into a message test, and the method works the same way regardless of the format. Let's test some real messages. Oatwave is redesigning their packaging and planning a new digital campaign. They've developed 5 candidate messages, and they need to know which one to lead with. The 5 are creamy, delicious oat milk, dairy-free and proud of it, better for you, better for the planet, the barista's choice, and real oats, nothing else. 5 very different ideas. Functional, emotional, aspirational, minimalist. The test tells us which one actually wins with the consumers. For each message, you measure 3 things, each on a 5-point scale. First, appeal. How much does this message appeal to you? Second, believability. How believable is this claim? Third, purchase motivation. How much does this message make you want to buy the product? That third one is the most important. It's asking whether the message actually changes buying behavior, not whether it sounds nice. The best message wins on all 3. And here's the key thing to understand. A high score on one metric but not the others is still a problem. Let me show you why all 3 matter by looking at what happens when a message scores high on just one. Better for you, better for the planet. Scores high on appeal. People love the idea. But for many consumers, it triggers skepticism. Is that actually true, or is this just greenwashing? High appeal, low believability, a problem. Real oats, nothing else. Scores very high on believability. It feels honest and transparent. But it doesn't excite anyone to make them want to switch brands. High believability, low motivation, also a problem. And the barista's choice is compelling and motivating, but it raises questions immediately. Whose choice? Which baristas? High motivation, low believability. You need all three working together. There are two main ways to structure the test. In a monadic design, each person rates just one message. They don't know any of the other messages exist. This is the cleanest approach because people can't compare, so you get a pure, unbiased read on each message's absolute performance. In a forced choice design, each person sees all 5 messages and picks the most compelling. This is more efficient when you have many messages to compare and primarily want a rank order. Use monadic when you need precise scores per message. Use forced choice when your main question is, of these options, which one wins, and you want to get there quickly. Step 1. Make sure you're testing with the right people. Screen for consumers who are genuinely in the market for this type of product. For Oatwave, that means plant-based milk buyers, or people who are open to switching from dairy. Here's the critical point. Don't test messages on people who will never buy the product regardless of what you say. Their reactions aren't relevant to your business decision and will dilute and distort your results. The screener is the first line of defense against wasted research budget. Don't show messages as bare text on a blank white screen. Show them the way consumers will actually encounter them, on a packaging mock-up, in a simple ad frame, in a social media post format. This matters more than it might seem. The exact same claim can feel completely different depending on the context it appears in. The barista's choice on a product label carries a different weight than the same phrase in a paid social ad. Context shapes perception, and your test should reflect reality as closely as possible. After showing each message, you ask the same questions every time. Appeal. How much does this message appeal to you on a 5-point scale? Believability. How believable is this claim on a 5-point scale? Purchase motivation. How much does this message make you want to buy on a 5-point scale? Then 3 open-ended questions. What does this message make you think of? To understand the associations it triggers. What, if anything, do you find hard to believe? To identify the credibility gaps. And what would make this message more compelling? To surface what's missing. Those open ends are what turn the scorecard into a roadmap. 2 more questions round out the study. First, uniqueness. Does this message feel different from what other brands say? A message can score beautifully on appeal, believability, and motivation, but it sounds like something every competitor is already saying. It won't cut through the market. Second, brand fit. Does this message feel like it fits this brand? A great message that feels off-brand creates confusion rather than clarity. Consumers who encounter it will wonder if they've mixed up 2 different companies. Both of these questions add real diagnostic value without much survey length. Sample size for message testing is smaller than a full market study, but it still needs to be adequate. For monadic testing, aim for 75 to 100 respondents per message, enough to get stable scores and meaningful open-end themes. For a forced choice design across all 5 messages, 150 to 200 respondents is typically enough to get a clear rank order, and always make sure your sample includes enough demographic diversity to detect whether different groups respond differently to different messages. A message that wins with one demographic might not win with another, and that's a finding worth having. Here's the complete survey in order. Screen for category buyers matching your target profile. Show the message in context. Ask the appeal rating. Ask the believability rating. Ask the purchase motivation rating. Then the open-ended questions. What does this make you think of? What's hard to believe? What would make it better? Then uniqueness. Then brand fit. Then demographics. Run it in this order every time. It's designed so that the open-ended responses come while the message is still fresh in people's minds, which produces richer, more specific answers. Here are Oat Wave's results. Creamy, delicious oat milk scores 3.8 on appeal, 4.1 on believability, 3.5 on motivation. Solid but not exciting. Dairy-free and proud of it, tops believability at 4.3, but motivation is only 3.2. It's honest but doesn't inspire action. The barista choice tops appeal at 4.3. Believability is the lowest in the group at 3.1. People like the idea but don't buy it. Real oats, nothing else, is the most believable message by far at 4.5. But motivation is only 3.0. It's honest, but it doesn't move people. And better for you, better for the planet wins. Not the highest on any single metric, but the most balanced. 4.2 appeal, 3.4 believability, 4.1 motivation. That balance is what makes it the winner. Let's be balanced. The strengths of message testing. It's fast and relatively inexpensive compared to most other research methods. The results are directly actionable. You come out with a clear winner and a clear understanding of what works, what's working, and what isn't. And you can test many messages in a single study, which makes it very efficient. The limitations? People evaluate messages in a research context, not while actually shopping under the time pressure and distractions of real life. Stated purchase motivation in surveys consistently overstates real behavior, and the message that wins in a test can still underperform if the creative execution around it is poor. The test finds the right idea. Execution is still up to you. 6 things to take with you. Test before you spend. Finding the right message before launch is one of the highest return investments in research. Measure all 3 metrics: appeal, believability, and purchase motivation, and look for balance across all 3, not just the highest score on one. Show the message in context so the test reflects how consumers will actually encounter it. The winner is the most balanced message, not necessarily the highest on any single metric. Add uniqueness and brand fit for the full diagnostic picture, and use the open-ended responses to understand what's driving or undermining each score, because those explanations are what make the results actionable. Get message testing right, and you go into every campaign knowing your lead message has already earned it. Thank you for watching.